The Freddy Fazbear Mega Pizzaplex is probably the coolest place you've ever seen. Just located off of State Route 9 and visible from practically miles away due to its luminous glow, the Mega Pizzaplex is the shining star of the desert. Anyone who's anyone wants to work there. Employees get perks, you see. Not like official perks, but Fazbear Entertainment, what they don't know won't hurt them. And you sneaking in a quick game of laser tag or a ride on a go-kart after hours is easy to cover up if you have the right passes on hand. You get access to luxuriously high-tech food made in under a minute, free refills at any of the Fizzy Faz dispensers if you work the Faz Vats, and you get to meet real-life living cartoon characters in the form of the lifelike animatronics. Maybe you'll even get to work with the insanely cool and totally beautiful Roxanne Wolf. And all you have to do is get a job at Freddy's Mega Pizzaplex and you're in. No experience required. There's only one catch. See, the Pizzaplex is really popular. Everyone loves it. Everyone goes there. Everyone blows their allowances and salary and has a blast doing it. So of course people would want to work there and get those perks. So there's only a few jobs available. The ones that no one really wants, and the one that has the highest turnaround. I'm talking about working in the Superstar Daycare. And I don't mean working the check-in, check-out desk, or the Lucky Stars gift shop, or the Fazbear Theater. I mean working in the daycare as a secondary attendant. The assistant to the daycare attendant. Where you take care of kids, manage snack times, nap times, cleanup activities, and most importantly, you spend every waking moment in that daycare trying to prove to the daycare attendant that he shouldn't throw you out on your furry ear and slap a ban on your permanent record. I'm sure you know about the sun and moon, but let me tell you, if you haven't worked at the daycare or have been at the daycare, you do not know about the sun and moon. You are familiarized with the cartoonish mascots. You do not know what you're stepping into when he's your boss, bestie, teacher, judge, jury, and executioner. Especially if we're talking about Moon. So today I'm going to give you some pointers on what you should expect working at the Superstar Daycare, how to keep from getting fired, and most importantly, how to survive the sun and moon, the daycare attendant. Let's start with the basics. As an attendant assistant, your job includes coming in early morning to prepare for the day, staying all day taking care of kids, staying afterwards to clean up, and making sure you are out that door before midnight or God help you, you aren't getting out at all. You report to Sun and basically stay glued to him all day and most of the night. This also means that he is the one directly overseeing you. He calls the shots, and while he cannot fire you unreasonably, he will keep an extremely close eye on you and any and every slip-up. You'll be on a 3 strikes you're out policy, except Sun can spot you doing something he doesn't like and decide you get all of those strikes at once. And you can't really do much about it because, due to him being the only thing willing to work at the daycare, Fazant will not be going over him to save you, lest we get another sit out of 32. In fact, before I continue on your daily tasks, let me introduce you to Sun himself, also known as Sunman, Sunnydrop, Sunny D, Mr. Sun, and occasionally... Sun is a complicated fellow. When tending to kids, he is friendly, attentive, maybe a little overbearing, and excitable.
New friend! Welcome to the Superstar Daycare! We can finger paint, tell stories, drink Fizzy Faz until our heads explode, and then stay up all night!
He is on constant watch over the little tykes, and keeps them busy with a plethora of games and activities, all while making sure they don't get hurt in his padded playground. He's basically a giant jester-themed pair of keys jingling in front of toddlers' faces. And he never stops. He is constantly on the move doing or fidgeting or handling something. A non-stop ball of energy. Or so you would think. But he doesn't let the kids see that. Unless they're a bad kid, in which case they either get a timeout or, under extreme circumstances, a ban from the daycare. His patience can only go so far, of course. Now with adults, Sun makes his more adult feelings known. Sun is a bit of a control freak. He has no control outside of the daycare, so he makes sure it's his way on everything inside of it.
Now you just sit right there and don't move! I'll go fetch whatever materials you need, okay?
He is overworked, unpaid, and exhausted, and years of sun-ups and sundowns with no rest have worn away his bubbly exterior until he can only barely keep it up for the kids. So he's not going to keep it up for adults, especially strangers, and you are a stranger in his daycare. Sun doesn't like adults. Well, saying Sun doesn't like adults is sort of an oversimplification. Sun doesn't trust adults. He's been burned too many times, and he's learned that he can't count on the workers. They complain, they split, and he's left to work the daycare entirely alone. Save the basic employee stationed at the security desk who is required to do absolutely nothing except observe. That employee, by the way, is no longer required now that you're at the daycare. You're going to have to prove yourself to Sun, and he's not going to take any slacking, sass, or suspicious misuse of the daycare's limited supplies. Don't take it personally, he's just stuck at his job 24/7. And that's not even getting into Moon, who we will discuss later. So, you arrive at your shift at 7 a.m. on the dot, and not a moment later. The daycare may not start accepting arrivals until 8, but you are required to get there and start putting stuff together. He will be waiting for you at the top of the slide. Do not go down the slide or you'll crash into him and probably get a strike or two already. You come in the front doors and will begin setting up for the day, which basically means getting craft supplies together and put aside, making sure the snacks are stocked, and trying to keep from unneededly ticking off Sun. He's pretty flighty in the mornings, but not super frustrated yet. Also, make a note now that your phone will be turned off and put in the security desk drawer, and if not, Sun will take it and put it in his box of no-no stuff until the end of the day. Phones aren't allowed in the daycare. That is, he does not want to catch you on your phone. Then comes check-in. Every child comes in through the slide, and Sun will do his best to greet each one and corral them in the center of the daycare. This often won't work, but now that you're there, it's your job to keep dozens of screaming kids in the area until Sun cuts them loose, and to gather up anything they brought in and put them in their cubbies. I hope you're agile because you will be going into the play structure, and not to play, but to kid wrangle. Though don't expect to do that on your first day or even week. Heck, if Sun allows you to go anywhere near the inside of the play structure that early, take it either as a very good or a bad sign. Normally, he'll get through just fine. A majority of free playtime will involve you watching the kids and making sure they're not climbing on the outside of the play structures, or eating the balls, or hitting or biting each other, just anything that you think could result in a possible, even if ridiculous, lawsuit. Oh, and taking kids to the bathroom. It's across from the daycare doors. You will have to make frequent trips over there with multiple kids to take them to the bathroom and bring them back. In fact, really, that's your primary job. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to the bigger events that break up daycare monotony, such as a favorite of Sun's, arts and crafts. Time to earn your artistic license. And now, usually, Sun will expect to do a one-on-one training course to certify you as an arts and crafts helper, but you were hired on suddenly, so you're gonna have to dive in without practice. All you have to do is make sure the kiddos recreate whatever activity Sun has laid out, whether it be painting by numbers or making paper pals. And you have to make sure they copy them properly. Paint by numbers is self-explanatory. They get an allotted worksheet with a Fazbear character on them and have to paint the correct color on the correct number. The colors are, in fact, not chosen by Sun, and instead fed out through the prompter that makes the worksheets, leading to some questionable results.
Just follow the happy little numbers. They make all the hard color choices for you.
The other crafts are the paper pals. Paper plate friends made with googly eyes, crinkly limbs, and different pre-cut Freddy-themed accents. Sometimes there's even enough time to paint the paper pals, but this isn't possible every single time.
Time to make paper pals! Paper pals will be your friends forever and ever and ever.
Your job is to instruct the kids on how to perform the crafts and then observe them as they complete it. The kids will be set up on plastic chairs and tables, so it's easy to walk around them. Sun will catch any kids that try to wander off. Offer up any help, and if a kid really refuses, just do the craft while Sun isn't looking. Once done, Sun has to observe and sign off on the completed projects. If it doesn't match, the child will be encouraged to redo.
Oh, start again.
If it's perfect, he'll butter them up with compliments and dispose of the art piece.
beautiful.
Now, you might find this insanely stifling, as are most of Sun's incredibly tight rules. But in this case, it isn't his rules. See, when it comes to paint-by-number sheets and paper pals, he is required by policy to randomize the scheduled assignment and get them exact, and then gather them up. As by the policy, they are property of Fazbear Entertainment.
All artistic works completed within the Pizzaplex are property of Fazbear Entertainment. Good job!
The only thing he decides on is his little arrangement in what projects to dispose of. And when I say dispose, I mean into the shredder it goes. Yes, he has a paper shredder, and you will be required to empty it out every night, because it fills up fast. Completed paint-by-number sheets and paper pals, painted or not, will be complemented and swiftly shredded. Kid might also get a stick or two. Now, you might think this is cruel, and yes, this does upset the kids, but in Sun's defense, he does this because he is required to confiscate the drawings and hand them over to a staff member, likely you now, to be delivered to the marketing department, where they will then use the drawings in advertising these happy children in the daycare. Needless to say, this really twists Sun's points, so he'd rather shred them up than let Faz Ent get them. And before you ask if the parents did care, they wouldn't have a leg to stand on. They sign away the rights to their children's property, what they make at the daycare, and sign a brief power of medical attorney to Fazbear Entertainment when they sign them up for the daycare. If they really cared, they'd read the fine print. But there is a more creative form of arts and crafts, and that is the finger painting sessions at the end of the allotted arts and crafts block. Not only are kids allowed to finger paint whatever they want, but they also take these creations home as they aren't legally owned by Fazbear Entertainment. Sun adores finger painting, but the mess will leave him scuttling around, hovering, trying to make sure no pots get tipped over or handprints on anything. Do your best to try to monitor spills and congratulate kids on their creativity. There will also be periods of drawing with crayons. As long as it's a blank piece of paper, Faz Ent legally can't claim the works. The kids usually draw the glam rocks, and he takes the best ones and tapes them up in his room. Nobody else knows this, but you'll probably find out pretty quickly. Direct Sun to any drawings of himself, and it'll make him happy. Confiscate any moon drawings. So that covers the art department. But oh no, a little tot got a paper cut during arts and crafts. What do? Well, don't panic. That is where you come in. You have an especially important job to do. Are you ready? You must leave the daycare through the doors, walk into the Lucky Stars gift shop, walk to the back, grab the first aid kit, and walk back. Usually Sun will apply first aid, but if he's busy or otherwise incapacitated, we'll discuss the barrels later, you will have to handle the child. If the child has a cut, scrape, or other non-emergency owie, be sure to spray with Helpy's discount disinfectant and apply a Glamrock bandage on the wound. The child may then return to playing. For any head wounds, apply ice and assess the shape of the child's pupils. Give them a pass to skip nap time as well. If they lose consciousness or have limbs sticking in the wrong direction, that is officially above your pay grade, and you will have to call in the Fazbear medical staff to take the child away. Upon which your task will be to calm down Sun, as this will absolutely result in immediate and overwhelming panic. He may try to exit the daycare to follow the kid. Try to gently coax him back inside. Faz Ent may tell you to use the taser under the desk. Don't. Now, sickness can be dealt with inside of the daycare as well. Fazbear Entertainment has a vast selection of over-the-counter medications to calm down any raging fever or upset tummy, such as Rockstar Freddy's Chill Cooling Chewables for children and Glamrock Chica's Scorch Strength Tummy Tabs. Just get the child to open their mouth, take a handful, and throw it at them. Whatever sticks, that's the correct dosage. Pick up the remaining pills before Sun notices. When a child gets physically sick in the daycare, you will have to clean it yourself. Sun will want to clean it, but you can't risk him getting something on him that spreads to the rest of the kids. Needn't I remind you about the norovirus outbreak of 31? Also, in case you're wondering, Sun does get rather dirty throughout the day, spotted with paint and chip dust and so much glitter glue. But Sun can clean himself, thank you very much. But you may be required to take his pants down to the laundry room in the theater basement. I don't know, maybe once he softens up, he might let you help him wipe off, but make sure to ask first. Unless a kid gets sick on him, which does happen quite a bit. In which case, all bets are off. Get him clean fast, he'll let you spray him down. Though most of the time, kids will just get sick from overeating or playing too soon after eating is all. Speaking of, time to discuss snack time and lunchtime. The daycare has 2 designated snack times and a lunch at noon on the dot. Snack time usually lasts about 15 minutes while lunch lasts about 30. Things are always quick and tidy in the daycare, though expect to be grabbing a mop. Snacks include apple slices, carrot slices, unsalted potato crisps, okra, and/or pineapple chunks. There's like a bloody surplus of pineapple at this Pizzaplex. Usually accompanied by a dip such as sugar-free yogurt, mayo, or Fazbear sauce. Children are usually given a sample juice cup as well. The juice flavor rotates. Remember, parents can pay more to upgrade their child's snack time to the Faztastic package, which includes a small fizzy Faz. As a worker at the daycare, you are encouraged to recommend these deals to all adult patrons. Sun has recently become forgetful and won't advertise as he's required to, so you must pick up the slack. The snacks are already stocked in the daycare kitchenette in the morning by, well, you. The kitchenette is basically just like a big play kitchen. Sun uses it to entertain the kids and pretend he's cooking for them when he's really just using sleight of hand to move bagged carrot sticks into little plastic bowls with his face on them. There is a drink machine there that Sun uses to serve the Faztastic kids. He will try to sneak Fizzy Faz to the kids who haven't paid, and you are suggested to discourage this, but whether you do or not is up to you. Also, you may have to refill the Fizzy Faz syrup sometime during the day. Sun will occasionally pop over there and just throw back a Fizzy Faz or 7 to keep him peppy. How it works? I don't know. How he drinks? I also don't know. But I do know that if you rat him out, you're banned from the daycare. Lunchtime is a little different. Sun will let you out about 10 till, and you have until noon to get to the basement kitchen where the staff bots will have nuked the pre-made kid lunches. You will then have to dolly them up to the daycare where they will be dispersed. 1 of 3 assigned lunches will be divvied up to the kids. Normal, allergy-free, and the upgraded Faztastic lunch, which of course requires a Faztastic lunch package, which is separated from the Faztastic snack package. And once again, you are encouraged to tell parents about the package. The Faztastic package comes, again, with a Fizzy Faz and a specialty Mr. Cupcake edible cupcake flavored pastry. Lunches are usually small square pizzas, or chica fingers, or macaroni and peas, or sometimes if the lunch orders are backed up, the kids will be provided with alternative lunches from El Chip's Fiesta Buffet. You don't want that. That stuff will get everywhere in one form or another. Just bring the lunches in, tear the plastic off, and hand them over to Sun to dish them out. He's not allowed to remove the food from the plastic, so he can't put on his cooking performance, but he does remember each child's allergies, so thankfully you don't have to. It's very sterile, actually, and the pizza's bad, but that's like typical for Freddy's. Now, the diner used to sell great pizza. They used to cut it up into like little bites. Me and my brother would eat them under the tables. It was so good. But this stuff is cheap. It's basically a cardboard box that you throw in the microwave. Not a boxed pizza, just a box. Anyways, also, I should make a note about Sunnydrops and Moondrops, which you may have to dispense to the children throughout the day. Nope, those aren't the names of the daycare attendant's split personas. They're actually the trademark candy of the daycare. No relation to Carrot Drops, those are discontinued. Sunnydrops are packed full of energy, and Moondrops filled with a relaxing and soothing mixture to help with nap times. It's not clear what these magical ingredients are, probably caffeine and melatonin, but these are necessary for managing nap times and up and atoms at the daycare. Make sure to use these sparingly though. One Sunnydrop will make a child into a raging ball of adrenaline, while a Moondrop will knock them out flat. Sun himself will often hand out Sunnydrops, which is not good for you, but you're not really in a position to stop him since he's supposed to do that. Just keep an eye out for any kids that get too jittery or pass out or unable to be woken back up. As for your lunch, you get a short block at the end of the lunch block. You can retrieve your staff lunch from any vending machine of your choosing, but any fountain Fizzy Faz will come out of your check. Also, please do not drink the glue. For some reason, this keeps being a problem, and really there's not enough glue to go around. Plus, it weirds out the Sun, which is an accomplishment since he's seen some things.
Oh, don't eat the crafts. That is how you get ulcers.
But I think that covers the edible portion. Moving along, another activity the kids may partake in are brief field trips. Those are in quotations because they are barely going anywhere. Short excursions either out to the Foxy-themed play area in the main atrium or into the Fazbear Theater to play a movie for them. As expected, you are to walk at the back of the line and make sure none of the stragglers wander off to investigate a birthday party in the daycare party rooms. If it's too busy with the hustle and a bustle, Sun might decide to bring the show inside of the daycare instead. A puppet show, that is. You may be required to distract the kittens while he puts up his puppet theater and then keep them corralled as he performs. These are hand puppets, mind you, so he will have his hands full. You will have to keep them from wandering off. Sun loves his puppet shows, and story time in general. Sometimes before nap time, if Sun isn't in the middle of an anxious breakdown, he will read them a story. It's important to keep things quiet and controlled at this time. Kids shouldn't be wandering around or risk knocking over any of the barrels. Oh yeah, the barrels. I forgot to mention those. And something very important regarding Sun. You may notice stacks of drums or barrels all over the daycare. These are noisemakers meant to entertain the kiddies, but usually they're left stacked up and untouched, because when they topple over, they set off Sun's cleanup reflex.
Oh, no! What a mess! Oh, which was the bottom? Where is the top? Clean up!
This is why I told you to get on the snack spills, the medicine spills, the paint spots, and especially sickness stains, because Sun cannot stop himself from cleaning up. His cleanup protocol is vicious. He will literally drop anything he's doing and go to clean up. And that includes whatever vitally important task he's doing with the kids. He cannot control it.
Clean up.
And the barrels are the bane of his existence. Whenever they fall over, they make this party popper noise, and it's on. Sun's over there to pick them up. But they have to be restacked in a very specific way, and Sun seems to never remember what that way is, so he will mull over them, stack them up, take them down, stack them up, and continue to fiddle with them until he is absolutely sure they are in the right position. This can be a big problem for you and very distressing for Sun, so it is in your best interest to not let that happen in the first place. Because Sun can't let you pick up the barrels, you can't do it right. Sun has a few eccentricities I think you have noticed, and almost all of them are because of his invasive programming. Bugs. So many bugs. He's exhausted too, stretched as thin as can be. So I think it's worth bringing up the elephant in the room, a topic I made very clear earlier. Sun does not trust adults. He does not trust you. He is overworked and stressed out, and he is your boss. So yes, Sun is going to have a bit of a temper with you when you're first starting out. If you can survive a few weeks in the daycare, that might turn around, but you'll have to chisel at that brick wall that he's built up. So let's get you through a few do's and don'ts for getting Sun to warm up to you. Do be attentive in the daycare, listen to directions, and tend to the children. Do not shirk your duties, such as ignoring spills for him to clean up and only focusing on fun activities. Do be gentle and understanding to the children. You can be firm when they're disobeying, just not cruel. Do not yell or snap at the children, or swear at them, or swear at Sun. Do not put children in timeout, that's his job. Do not dip into the art supplies without his permission. Do not sass the Sun or otherwise make sarcastic comments at him. Do not throw things at Sun, shoot darts at Sun, or steal his shoes. Do not call him buddy, dude, man, it, stupid, childish, Arnie, dumb, or any derogatory names or talk down to him. Do not treat him like he's your assistant. Remember, you're his. You're there to make his job easier, not the other way around. Well, technically that's not true. I have a growing suspicion that you're there to phase him out of the daycare, but that's neither here or there. And if you make that job any more difficult, oh boy, you're looking at getting banned. If you agitate Sun enough or break any unforgivable rules, that's it. You're banned from the daycare.
Oh, you are banned from the daycare.
There's basically two kinds of rules. The 3 strike you're out rules and the 1 and done rules. 3 strikes you're out rules would include 1. Messing up at your job, 2. Forgetting to do a job, 3. Arriving late to your shift, 4. Leaving early without reason, or 5. Getting on your phone. Sun's got a thing about cell phones. If he catches you screwing around on your phone, you will get an immediate strike against you, and Sun will always remember exactly how many you have. Offenses that would result in an immediate ban include 1. Purposefully hurting a child, 2. Hitting or swearing at Sun. 3. Stealing from the daycare. 4. Taking a child out of the daycare without permission. And 5. Turning the lights off. And of course, hitting 3 strikes. Upon any of which, Sun will loudly announce that you're banned from the daycare and escort you out.
Rule breaker, rule breaker! You are banned from the daycare!
If you resist, he will physically pick you up and toss you outside. Don't let his gangly limbs fool you, he is way stronger than you. He will do it, and then you're done. You're not technically fired yet, but you will be if you don't get back in there, and slipping in through the slide isn't what I mean. The only way to get unbanned is through Sun himself, and there's really only 3 ways to go about this. Apology, flattery, or bribery. If it is an accidental or light offense, say if you accidentally bumped a child, or if you accidentally walked out with Sun's brand new bottle of multicolored glitter glue, or if you got like 3 relatively basic strikes, you can probably persuade Sun with an honest apology and a little groveling. Flattery also really works on Sun. He's not used to compliments. On the contrary, he's used to rowdy parents and employees constantly talking down to him. So telling him how he's such a good caretaker, how he's so creative and warm, and how patient and understanding he is, will probably get you another shot. Bribery is also an option. Extra daycare supplies are always a given. He loves glitter glue, and if you can get him extra colors not supplied to the daycare smuggled in, you've won him for life, or at least for a week. Another excellent bribe would be the elusive Nighttime Fizzy Faz, a flavor that was discontinued but is usually available upon request for a custom Fizzy Faz order. Sun, being an animatronic, can't order it, but he can drink it, somehow. Maybe he just pretends, but he's crackers for that fizz. If you are able to get a custom order, or can pull some strings and get downstairs into the Fizzy Faz vats, unlikely, but you might at least be able to contact the worker on the production line, Nighttime's recipe is sugar, protein, acid. Obviously, these won't fix everything, but this will help you squeeze past the small stuff. And who knows, maybe if you can befriend Sun, that 3-strike system will be what's banned from the daycare. So, how do you actually get Sun to warm up to you? Well, funny enough, you do your job to the best of your abilities, and you give him the respect he deserves. Hey, I know he's a little funny looking, I know he gets a little snippy, but if I were forced to dance and sing for dozens of children for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week with no pay and I never got the rest, I'd probably be a little irritable too. So remember, this guy holds a special place in the hearts of children, and I think we need to show him a little respect, alright? Okay, try to be patient and see things from his point of view. You can walk out and give up on your daycare dreams whenever, but he can't. If he fails, he's getting replaced, or decommissioned, or getting a total robotic lobotomy to make him function better. Just show him a little compassion. Things like staying later to help clean up, and helping tend to him when he can't handle something alone. Defending him to angry parents is a game changer. Faz Inc. simply doesn't care about their patrons, so they won't bat an eye, but it would mean the world to Sun if someone would just speak up for him for once. Treat him like a real person. Be a good assistant, and maybe with a little proving yourself, you will become a good friend in no time. That sweetheart Sun that you see doting on the kids, he's real. He just needs a little help pushing back that cloud coverage so he can shine through. But you may be forewarned to keep a distance from Sun, probably by Sun himself, and there's a reason for that. There is a danger that Sun carries with him, and it's not him per se, it's his other half. It's time to discuss Naptime.
Oh no! Those lights are telling us it's almost nap time. Yeah, we really need to finish up before nap time.
Naptime comes in the mid-afternoon, after lunch and the playtime period after it, when the meal kicks in and some of the kids get sleepy. Of course, if they're still feeling rowdy, a moondrop apiece ought to put out that fire. Don't feel bad, it's best for them that they get eager to nap, because otherwise, they'll be awake for Moon. So the daycare attendant is a 2-in-1 animatronic. Unlike the statue might suggest, there are not 2 bodies. They share one. It's still him, but it's not him. And his name is Moon. You will learn quickly that Moon is a far cry from Sun. Unlike Sun's overwhelmingly bubbly outward persona that he uses with children, hovering over them and worrying over them, Moon is strict and, let's be blunt, terrifying. The kids are extremely afraid of how he slinks around in the dark, and his voice,
Naughty, naughty.
Gives you chills. Moon has one goal, and that's to get the kids down for their nap. Bad children who run and hide in the playground will be dealt a swift time out in the bad kid corner.
I'm putting you in time out.
Children who wake from nightmares will have to deal with Moon scuttling over to them to see what they're upset about, and get even more upset just looking at him. The kids do not like Moon. They used to, long ago before he got these bugs. He used to be just as friendly, if a little more gentle than Sun. But something happened along the way, and now he's become something of a troll living under a bridge, a ghoul creeping up to make sure kids are obedient and fast asleep.
Good night.
It doesn't help that Moon gets around the daycare by crawling and twisting his body up in the tight spots. He can scale the walls easily, and is prone to using the hook line from the ceiling to swiftly move across the daycare, or to swim in midair. He does that too. Sun can technically do this too, but he does it less often due to the risk of accidentally landing directly on a child. Whereas you'll see Sun do cartwheels and tumbles, Moon will twist his legs around and spider crawl his way up a slide to snag an intruder if it comes down to it. Oh yeah, Moon is also technically the daycare security enforcement. To keep the lights on, it's actually recommended to turn them off if you have an overly aggressive parent or intruder making it into the daycare, because the security bots, sometimes they make it down the stairs upright. But no, turn those lights off and let Moon sort it out. And then deal with the repercussions. See, once nap time ends, the lights click back on and Moon rolls back into Sun, who does his little hoppy jig thing, and all's well. But when the lights are turned off for other reasons, they don't come back on. Which means you'll have to do it manually. But how, you may ask? Well, as a matter of fact, the Superstar Daycare is decked out in a bunch of generators to supply power even when the power's off. They are tucked away in the play structures, barely hidden from the kids, but right where the daycare attendant can reach them and flip them back on. In theory. See, Moon doesn't want those lights back on. He wants to be free. No sun, forever night.
No light.
He's pent up and ready to go, and guess what? Your one-way ticket to becoming Moon's new target is trying to get those lights on. He will, in short, hunt your tail all the way up and down and in and out of that playground, and you can't let him catch you, because between you and me, I don't know what he's going to do, but he could easily snap you in half, or just suplex you into a snapped neck. So you'll have to move fast, but thankfully you have a few tricks on your side. There are some things that Sun and Moon share. Things like their ability to contort, their fussiness, and their cleanup protocol. You knock over a couple of those barrel towers and you'll buy yourself at least a minute or two while he's trying to figure out what order to stack them in.
Clean up.
Pull it off and the lights will come back on, and assuming you didn't shut them off, Sun will be thrilled with your work. But Moon will be much less so. Though then again, Moon's likely not going to be your friend right off the bat anyways. So how do you get close to Moon? Well, you don't. You give him his distance, you spend nap time behind the security desk, and you try your hardest to not tick him off. But, there's some things you can do, obviously. Be polite, be friendly, but not overbearing. Remember when I mentioned gathering any moon drawings? Put those out somewhere where he can find them, and where Sun can't. He might seem cold and distant, but there's still a soft center in there somewhere. And seeing a kid or two who still loves him, surely that'll crack open that icy heart. But for the most part, keep a comfy distance and don't stare when he starts dangling over your head. Just listen for the jingles in the dark to suss out where he is. But eventually the lights must come back on and the day must wind to a close. Sun will say goodbye to every child while you make sure to check passes and log in which children were picked up by who into the daycare security desk computer. Sun recognizes faces really well, so he'll usually just be able to give you the names right off the bat. Once the kids are gone, and God willing their parents pick them up in a timely manner, it's time for end-of-day cleanup. Now at this point, Sun will probably suggest that you leave, but you need to insist and stay and help him clean up the daycare. Trust me, this is a vital bonding activity between you two. And heck, if you get enough free time afterwards, maybe see if he wants to do something, like a game of cards. Something that doesn't seem like schmoozing, as he gets suspicious easily. Just make sure to leave before midnight or immediately if Sun insists, because the Pizzaplex has one last trick up its sleeve. At midnight comes the lockdown, where the security shutters slide down over the front doors and you are trapped inside. Even the emergency exits are locked up behind security clearances and VIP passes. Which means you'll be stuck there until 6 a.m. No big deal, you might think. No big deal. First off, the staff bots are still working. This means that you can't just walk into an attraction and play around unless you're able to secure party passes, which, unfortunately, due to you being an employee, if you steal, they'll probably find out and dock your pay. If not, claim your viable assets to repay themselves. Secondly, the security staff bots are out. And while you won't necessarily get arrested or fired for accidentally being locked in, Fazant would rather you sign a waiver that frees them of any legal liability than have a PR nightmare. You will have these guys following you all over, sounding off randomly, shining flashlights in your face. Unless you're in the daycare, but that comes with its own set of problems. If you're on good terms with Sun, he might be all in for a sleepover, but assuming that you're just starting at the daycare and not that close yet, he will likely instruct you to hide somewhere far into the Pizzaplex, nowhere near the daycare, and to not tell him where you're going. Because after midnight, the Pizzaplex has hourly recharges where all the lights shut off in the building. It only lasts for a few minutes at a time, but when it happens, Moon will be on the move, and unfortunately for you, he's really good at getting around. And if he knows that you're still in the building, he will track you down. And this time, he's not going to ban you from the daycare. He's gonna, well, I don't know, but this guy can drag around a glam rock. You don't want to mess with him. You won't stand a chance. So in short, don't pull any all-nighters in the daycare unless you want to deal with a bunch of staff bots, locked doors, and one hyper-fixated Doberman who will find out where you are in a matter of moments. He seems to just pop up out of nowhere sometimes. Best be on your guard. And that's not even taking into consideration the possibility of Sun stalking you around the Pizzaplex, but that's neither here nor there. And since we're back to the Sun, let's cover the bad days. Or more specifically, malfunctions and modes that the daycare attendant might cycle through that may make it impossible for him to work. First off, Sun is at a risk of serious burnout, and I don't mean metaphorically. Sun may at times have a short circuit, usually when stuck in a programming loop that traps him between two things he needs to do, during which he will get stuck in place, cycling through voice lines and spinning his points. You can usually get him unstuck by completing the tasks yourself, allowing him to unlock from his loop. Though Sun might also completely collapse in a emotional way. Usually at the end of the day, you might catch Sun huddling in a corner or somewhere inside of the play structure, usually with his head in his hands, possibly crying. He might tell you to leave him alone, but maybe it would be best to try to lend a hand. Gently, don't get pushy or he'll shut down. Not literally, or well, maybe literally. If he gets embarrassed enough, he can overheat and collapse. So make sure to give him due warning before you throw any physical affection his way. He's not used to getting it. Hugs might fly, and he's a great hugger, but unplanned smooches might result in a crash, or, an accidental point poke to the eye. Look, if you want to give Sun affection, go for it. It doesn't matter how much of a control freak he is, he longs for some form of support and companionship, and Moon doesn't count. Please refrain from hugging Moon. He can crush you like a bendy straw. But this is just Sun being overwhelmed and a little underpowered. It's still him, or, well, one of him. But there are other cases where a malfunction or mode might set him into a completely different personality. Yes, technically Sun and Moon aren't the only ones in there. Such as when the daycare attendant goes into safe mode. If he is suffering extreme errors, severe physical damage, or is showing signs of being affected by a virus, it's best to put him in safe mode. To do this requires a Faz wrench, which you are not entitled to have. It will be a situation where you will have to call in the technicians to handle him. Using the port on the back of his head, the daycare attendant will be put into safe mode, and with it comes a blended personality usually given the moniker of Eclipse.
Come back soon and have a Fazerific day.
Eclipse is soft and friendly, very good with children, very gentle. He's actually as close to the perfect caregiver as you can get. But if that's the case, why aren't Sun and Moon always in safe mode? Well, safe mode is rather limiting. It cuts back on some of his, shall we say, brain power. Eclipse is friendly towards kids and adults, but rather unaware. He can lose track of time and misplace importance in tasks. For example, let's say he's trying to take a kid to the bathroom. He then spots another kid trying to climb something he's not supposed to. He will take that kid down and softly correct him, but will forget all about the first child unless redirected back to him. He has trouble with dates, he's cut off from most of the Pizzaplex's vital communication systems, unable to look up even if the Pizzaplex is open, let alone whether or not kids are in the system and who's supposed to pick them up. Indeed, Eclipse truly is a safe mode feature, and he is safe, but he is too restricted to deal with the time crunch and multiple facets of the daycare. Interesting fact, but there's a rumor that Sun and Moon used to be a lot like Eclipse when the daycare first opened. The switching between them was a lot more performative than two distinct identities. But that's just a rumor, and when it comes to Freddy's, it has a lot of them, and almost all of them hold a grain of truth. Speaking of fires that we don't talk about, there is another persona that may spring up if Sun and Moon are under extreme duress due to some sort of virus or tampering. This burn mode, or burning mode, causes Sun and Moon to both be active at the same time. Except no, Moon will overtake and you basically have a Sun walking around at max emissions glowing a harsh orange color and being steered by Moon. Burn mode, also called Jack-O-Moon mode after the Halloween exclusive Moon Scarecrow character who's often featured during Freddy's Frights at Fazbear celebration, is extremely unpredictable and pretty dangerous. Take Moon and then turn up his temperature until he's dangerously overheating and then let him loose into the Pizzaplex and yeah, that's burn mode. Burn mode is not something you can fix. It's basically a crisis. If this occurs, you have to report it to the Fazbear technicians and the security staff as an emergency threat. Remember me saying earlier to not rat out Sun, though you're encouraged to? That doesn't fly with burn mode. He has to be taken to parts and service before he hurts someone, or himself. And expect him to come back as Eclipse and then eventually snap back to Sun a little later. But that's a very rare phenomenon. Speaking of, there's one last scenario to cover. This goes hand in hand with the Sun breakdown situations and is caused by him getting extremely tired from not taking breaks. In some rare instances, his going mentality will crash and he will get confused. And then he'll start thinking that he used to be a human. So, what to do when Sun thinks he's a human? Technically, you are required to report him and then escort him down to parts and service so he can be reprogrammed. Please don't do that. It'll go away on its own. Like with his stress meltdowns, it's just a matter of getting him through it. Just try to be assuring, but whatever he tells you at that time, if he gives you any details, don't repeat them to him once he goes back to normal. It'll just cause him to spiral again. You'll be able to tell the difference once the cadence in his voice returns to its higher pitch and has more character and sounds less normal. But with that finished, I think we've covered everything you need to know. Take care of the kids, don't be mean to them or Sun, don't slack, stay off the phone, don't steal glitter glue, don't waste the supplies, don't pilfer the snacks, take lunch at your lunch, don't steal the Fizzy Faz, don't stop Sun from stealing Fizzy Faz, paint in the lines, don't smuggle paper pals, don't laugh at the puppet show, don't go to the daycare loft, don't taunt the Moon, don't sass the Sun, and lights on, or you're banned from the daycare. You're ready to start your first day. But let's run a little trial version to make sure you're on your way to being the best daycare attendant assistant that you can possibly be. We're going to play a dice game. You're going to need a die or two, or a dice roller online or on your phone. You roll either one die twice or two dice to get the possible scenarios. If you want a harder, more random experience as well, you could give yourself like a check roll for scenarios that you know you won't have a high rate of success with. But that's your choice. I'm just going to go with a basic dice game. You just started at the Superstar Daycare. It is your first week and you have to roll on 7 scenarios. And if you get the same scenario twice, you can either decide to have it be a continuation or a reroll. How you handle these scenarios will decide your success at the daycare and your survival depending on who you're running into. I will give a few options with every question, but you can choose to come up with your own choice as well, so don't feel limited to them. They're just suggestions. So let's get started. If you roll a 2, it's arts and crafts time, and Sun is being especially fussy today, being hypercritical of the projects and requesting a lot of do-overs. You really don't want to be here all day, but that's what it looks like is going to happen. Well, until you notice a brand new container of sheep steel brand glue. An assumedly non-toxic glue often used in the kids' projects. Oh boy, with that much glue, you could do something. Do you put the glue back and go back to work, knowing it's not worth the risk to mess with Sun? Or do you use the glue to help the kids get done a little faster? And hopefully you can get out of arts and crafts before lunchtime, or at least before nap time. Do you prank the Sun? Put some glue on the little plastic seat for when he sits down, or right on the back of a paper pal when he's going to pick it up? That stuff works fast. Or even more devious, glue the barrels down in the wrong order. Or do you tip back the can and chug the whole thing down in one go, and hope that Sun is so disgusted that it turns him off arts and crafts for the rest of the day? I'm sure it won't make you sick, right? Roll a 3. It's time for nap time, but the kids are wired and don't want to sleep. And Sun is very anxious that Moon's going to get short with them and start dealing timeouts faster than Sun dishes out good noodle stars. Sun very eloquently and subtly suggests that maybe there doesn't need to be a nap time today. But he can't decide that. Oh no, he'll get in so much trouble. But you could probably get away with it with only a slap on the wrist. He would really appreciate it, but if Moon finds out, which he will be fuming. Do you agree to do so? Winning favor from the Sun, getting a paydock from Fazant, and thoroughly ticking off Moon. This might be your first step in becoming Sun's friend, but you'll be putting a target on your back as well. Or do you disagree? Disappointing Sun, but not getting in trouble for him. And maybe, just maybe, you will get a point of favor with Moon instead. That might be valuable for future use. Or do you hit Sun with the, "What's in it for me?" and thoroughly annoy him, but still win a favor? A free bottle of glitter glue? An extra carrot stick snack? The ability to poke at his points without him pulling them in and rolling off? The possibilities are endless. Or do you just straight up bolt for the security desk and spend the next 2 minutes pretending like you're going to press the button while Sun darts around in panic mode on the other side? You decide. If you roll a 4, you're bored and decide to sneak and use your phone. You think Sun is good and distracted, but oh no, here he comes. He is coming right towards you. What do? Do you fess up about what you did and hope he goes easy on you? Do you quickly search something and pretend that you are looking up something related to your daycare duties? Pretend it was for work? Do you quickly throw your phone into the nearest trash can full of shredded art and sample juice cups and hope Sun didn't see it? Or do you stay on your phone, don't hide anything, don't care, let Sun see you? He might be your boss, but he's not the boss of you. Decide. If you roll a 5, Sun had a glitch before you arrived at work and had to be put in safe mode, so you're spending the day with Eclipse. He's extremely sweet and great with the kids, and better still, you don't have to deal with Moon. But Eclipse has his own set of issues, with task management. You find quickly that due to Eclipse's absent-mindedness and losing track of time, that you're doing most of the work. But you know, it's not too bad, but he just dropped a whole tray of pineapple chunks on you. Okay, you've got to do something. Do you send a report to the Faz technicians and demand they come up and fix Eclipse now? Do you fake an allergic reaction to the pineapple, capitalizing on Eclipse's sweet, trusting nature to get the rest of the day off and head home to lounge with TV and popcorn while someone else deals with the kids? Do you use your assistant privileges to ban Eclipse from the daycare until the end of the day, or Sun comes back? You have enough kids to take care of as it is. Or do you give Eclipse a hug? You can't stay mad at him, and lock in on directing him for the rest of the day. If you roll a 6, Sun never lets you mess with his hand puppets. He's very protective of them. But today, he made a critical error, and though he put up the puppet show stage, he got distracted with a kid and left a box of puppets out. You, of course, moved them so the kids wouldn't get into them. But what do you do now? Do you put him away like a good employee? Do you put on a makeshift puppet show while Sun has his back turned? Do you hide the hand puppets somewhere where Sun can't find them and watch him lose his mind over it? Or do you do something more devious? Make the Freddy and Bonnie puppets kiss in front of the kids, in front of the sun, so that the moment he turns around, he sees them smooching. Do you ingrain Franny into the minds of those impressionable young youths? You might get banned over this one. Sun ships Bonnie and Monty. If you roll a 7, someone snatched a kid from the daycare. You're sure that the check-in staff just made a mistake, and sure enough, the list says that there is a child who was checked in and then up and vanished. The daycare's on lockdown, so they might have not snuck out yet. Sun's freaking out. The kids are crying, and there might be a life and a lawsuit on the line. What do you do? Do you do nothing? It's not really your problem once the kid is outside of the daycare. Just spill something or knock over some barrels to distract Sun and let the security guard sort it out. No biggie. Do you go out alone and search for the child, seeing if there's a possibility that you can catch up with whomever might have taken him? Do you watch the kids and send Sun out instead, knowing he'll have better clearance but having to juggle all of the children, many of which are upset because Sun was upset, entirely alone? Or do you go lights off and send Moon to find the kid? He's the best of the job. With his night vision and the way he gets around, he will find that kid. But you don't think he'll stop with just bringing them back. And you're not sure if he'll take that back-breaking energy out on the Snatcher or you. Maybe both. He's pretty fast. If you roll an 8, it's time for a field trip to the theater. You and Sun lead the children to the theater and get them settled in, where Comedy Bot entertains them while you finish setting up. Sun lets you choose what you're going to do, get the refreshments or set up a movie. He would do both, but you guys really need to get started. Do you choose to go get the popcorn, or do you set up the movie? Now, if you go get the popcorn, do you do your job correctly, getting a bunch of little bowls of popcorn and dealing them out to the kids? Or do you decide to give the kids a treat, sprinkling their popcorn with butter and cheese and ketchup, leading to happy kids but a big mess? Or do you push past the staff bot and pillage the refreshment stand, wolfing down nachos and pretzels and mouthfuls of popcorn and stashing candy in your pockets until Sun shows up, chews you out, and drags you back to the theater, literally drags you back? That's its strike, but it's a tasty one. Do you bring him a fizzy fast to try to smooth things over? I'm sure that he will, oh dear God, so that's how he drinks. But if you decide to set up the movie, do you put on Captain Foxy's Pirate Adventure? The hit movie being advertised in the daycare, a fantastical animated adventure involving the beloved Captain Foxy and his crewmates as they try to locate the magical but cursed golden skull of Captain Twisted Beard the Wolf. Or do you put on the 1987 Freddy's Christmas Special, a dated and somewhat ugly Christmas movie about Freddy and his friends discovering the joy of Christmas, singing and rapping all the way? The live-action mascots might scare the kids if the eerie lighting and Freddy's bellowing voice didn't. They'll expect to win immediate favor from Moon. He loves that movie. Do you put on your podcast about the mysteries surrounding cryptids in the area, such as the Stitch Wraith, the sewer snake that stole the Spectral Scooper's van, and the Zion Ziote? Hey, they still count as views, even if the kids don't grasp the full magnitude of what you discovered raiding the Hurricane Dump. Or do you put on Day Shift at Dave's, a raunchy slapstick movie parodying the Freddy's brand as a whole that will no doubt get you immediately banned from the daycare unless you pretend it was a mistake? Roll a 9. Some genius left the basement door open and somehow endoskeletons made it up to the daycare. Thankfully, they didn't start wandering in until nap time, so Moon went over and started busting them up. Unfortunately, these things are built like glam rocks, or are built as glam rocks, and a couple of them got the jump on him and really banged him up. You find him with some gnarly damage hanging out in the daycare basement, slumped in the ball cleaning pit. Well, you should do something. What do? Do you put your feelings aside and help him up, trying to help him walk to parts and service? Are you even strong enough to lend a hand? Or will you crumple like paper at the first time he stumbles? Do you sit with him until the technician arrives, distracting and keeping him company? Funny, this might be the first time you've had Moon pinned down long enough for a chat. What do you talk about? Do you mock him while he's down, rubbing salt in the wound, knowing that you may be slowly digging your own grave, but enjoying it too much to stop? Or do you leave him there and go to get the technicians? This is Moon we're talking about. He's not exactly the safest guy to hang out with. If you roll a 10, ouch, one of the kiddos got a boo-boo. You're tasked with handling it since Sun is busy stuck at the barrels again. But that's okay, you can handle this. The kid has a cut on his knee and seems to be a little warm to the touch. How do you handle this? Do you apply a Band-Aid and throw a handful of chewable chill pills in his gob? Do you apply a sticker and hold a freshly poured Fizzy Faz soda cup to his head? That way you don't have to go walk all the way to get the first aid kit. Do you rush over to Sun and try your hardest to get the barrel thing situated so you can throw the kid upon his shoulders? Or do you use this as an excuse to leave the daycare and then go kill some time at the arcade before getting the first aid kit? Sun probably won't notice. He'll probably still be at the barrels. If you roll an 11, Sun's been acting strange all day. But it was after nap time when Moon switched back when something went terribly wrong. It's still acting like Moon, but it's Sun, and he's glowing the stark orange, save the darkening of his face. He's also burning up. In fact, he's gone into burn mode. It must have been a virus. This is not good. You have to go get a Fazbear technician. But as you leave the daycare, the burning Jacko-Moon follows you. He stops when you look at him, but then he's back to dogging your heels, getting closer and closer. You think he's planning on doing something. You don't trust him. It's not Sun or Moon, but something else. What are you going to do? Do you make a run for it? You might make it. Just keep looking back to stop him and make sure you don't immediately run straight into a wall. Get to the technicians as fast as you can. Do you make a run for it and keep going? I mean, blaze out of the Pizzaplex, leap into your car, and skid off home? And if Fazant asks, let Sun take the fall. That could lead to some problems for him, but at least you're off scot-free. Do you decide to take matters into your own hands? Per se, leading the Jacko down into the basement to where the Endos roam, and setting him up to get grabbed and mangled by them? You'd be safe. You'd never have to deal with it or Moon again. Or Sun, he'd be gone. And you'd be the only full-time 24/7 daycare attendant. Do you want that? Or do you run towards the burn mode DA and give him a big scalding hot hug? You know your buddy is in there somewhere. You just have to love him back to life. I tell you what, roll a die, and if it lands odd, it actually works. You use the power of friendship and or love to stop burn mode. Otherwise, you're the one getting burned. Roll a 12, the daycare attendant is missing from the daycare. You search around for a long while and eventually get tipped off that he's in the basement. After hours, you find him hiding in a van down in the loading dock area. He wants to leave. He doesn't say why, but he is adamant that he must leave the Pizzaplex now. He sounds weird, his voice. Maybe he's malfunctioning? Well, if you take him, he's definitely coming out of your paycheck. He's not acting like himself. Do you convince him to return to the daycare, reminding him of all the kids that will miss him and all the fun activities that he enjoys? Promising him that you'll be right there with him? That might definitely increase your bond. Do you instead encourage him to head to parts and service? He's acting funny and you're worried. Maybe if you try to repair him yourself, you can avoid all of the nasty repercussions. And maybe you'll see Eclipse again. Do you contact the fast technicians? This seems to be way out of your pay grade, and you don't want to get in trouble. Surely they'll fix him right up and ship him back to the daycare so you don't have to watch the kids alone. Or do you steal the van and return it later? Steal the babysitter and escape far from the Pizzaplex? Do you open up your home to the daycare attendant, knowing that it's not just Sun but also Moon and everything they bring? It won't be easy, but would you take him home? Knowing that it'll be hard, but that you might be able to keep him safe? That you might be able to treat him not as a machine, but as a living being? Make your choice, because it's a big one. And there you have it. Time to fill your role at the daycare. But which role did you choose? The good employee? The lazy employee? The mischievous imp? Or I can fix him? Either choice will decide how long you stay at the daycare and how well you perform. And that's the end of this guide, and as far as I can help you. Good luck handling Sun and Moon in the Superstar Daycare. You might just be the employee that daycare's been needing, or the worst thing that's ever happened to it. And if you're not banned by the end of the first week, you might be going far, kid. And maybe you'll befriend the Sun, and maybe you'll befriend the Moon, and maybe, just maybe, you'll go back for them. Someday.
You shouldn't be here. I'm perfectly fine where I am. It's better this way. It's safer this way. Naptime, naptime. No crafts or treats to share. Naptime, naptime. The googly eyes just stare. Play, clay, all is crumbled dry. Spill tempers and lose. No laughs, no crafts, just go away. No more sun.